that, listen, at the end of the day, it's only 24 hours. You can't get it all done in one day.
Yeah.
And just strike that balance. Prioritize what you can get done today. Communicate what you can't. And be back tomorrow. And that part, I realized, is love yourself more. Back to earlier. Love yourself more. Because at the end of the day, that company or friends and family will still be living on when you're in that casket. So what are you trying to prove, yo? So take care of yourself. I use a plane analogy, although it's kind of scary to use a plane analogy these days. Also, we watch on TV. The oxygen mask comes down. There's a reason why they say put the mask on first.
Yeah.
If you don't put the mask on first, how the heck are you going to take care of your kids if you pass out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to put the mask on first in order to have enough to pour into others. And so I'm still learning to make sure I pour into myself more so that I can do and pour into others I so desire. But I have to pour into myself. That, my friends, still a continuous journey for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Are you ready? Are you ready?
What if your biggest crisis became your greatest opportunity? When Jesse Rhodes stepped into Amazon's leadership team the week George Floyd was murdered, he didn't just navigate the storm, he transformed it into a movement. From first-generation college graduate to shaping culture at Fortune 500 companies, his journey proves that vision can become unstoppable impact. Today, this author, thought leader, and philanthropist reveals the blueprint for turning bold ambition into powerful reality. Get ready to experience a masterclass in possibility thinking with Jesse Rhodes. This is the UpNUp podcast. Enjoy the show. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You're tuned into the UpNUp podcast on the UpNUp network. I'm your host, Rebel.
And I'm DJ Earn, man.
What's up, brother?
Good, man. What's up with you?
I'm good. I'm blessed. Feeling good. Grateful.
Yep.
All the things that I always say.
Yep.
Every episode. Actually, every day, really.
Yes, sir.
How about yourself?
Same thing, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better.
This is going to be the last episode of Black History Month, right? So happy Black History Month to those listening. Yep. For those tuning in, as I stated, this is the UpNUp podcast. This is the podcast where we're focused on cultivating culture, right? We do that by providing amazing stories of individuals, groups, movements, the hustlers, the shakers, people who are breaking down barriers, not only for all of us currently here, but for the next generation, right?
Yep.
They're coming.
Yeah.
And we got to put it down now for them, right?
They're here.
Yeah, they're here too. Yeah, you're right. And again, to the supporters, listeners, viewers, we salute you guys. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yep.
And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the family.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling blessed. As always, when we come in and being able to do these episodes, I don't take it for granted, man.
Never.
We've been rocking for a minute.
Yeah, man.
And every single one feels different, feels new, feels fresh. Today's guest is definitely someone who, man, honestly, he's one of the most positive forces you can come across.
Yeah.
And someone who never shies away from leading with purpose, right? Mm-hmm. He's definitely a true culture cultivator who's keeping everything he's doing on the up and up. A change maker, a hustler, and just overall a great guy, man. And we're honored to have him in the building. We say it's long overdue, right? But it's right on time. Right on time. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Jesse Rhodes Jr. Can we get a round of applause?
Yeah. Thank you.
Give it up, brother. How you doing, boss?
Yo, I need a permanent third seat in here. That's why timing is right. I'm ready. I feel at home. I feel blessed.
Yes.
I love the vibe in here. Love the folks in here.
Yeah.
So, be ready. You might have to have a third one up in here.
Oh, yeah. Come on, man.
Yes,
Come on, man. We can make it happen.
I'm my seat already before I even begin.
That's the ultimate compliment, bro.
Yeah.
The fact that we make you feel at home.
Yes.
Love to hear that, bro.
Yes.
I'm honored, man.
Pleasure.
Now, before we get things started, I don't know if you're familiar, but we always start every episode with the quote of the day. something to set the tone, get the convo started. So, brother, man, man of the quotes, what you got for us?
Yeah, I usually try to pick like a whole bunch of different quotes, but the quote of the day today is, "The power of vision drives me forward."
I love you, man.
I just
I love you, man.
I'm gonna take a wild guess. That quote was by this brother right
I
here.
love
Definitely.
you, man. Yeah,
Definitely.
Okay.
I wrote that when I was, I don't know, 16.
Really?
Yeah, and it just stuck. Back in the day when you still had, what was it, MySpace? I'm dating
Oh yeah.
myself, right? And I put that up one day and it got a lot of response, and I just kept it. And it's actually true. Power of vision continues to this day, drives me forward.
Yes,
So my early version of myself must have knew something.
That's powerful.
Thank you for that, man.
Yes, sir.
That's
I was
powerful.
when I was picking the quotes, I was like, man, I just kept coming back to that. I was
love
like,
you,
I
man.
can't do anything different, you know.
Appreciate
So
that, man.
that's definitely a powerful quote, and thank you for that. You
No
know,
problem.
Yeah, man. Wow, 16, bro.
Yeah.
I'm trying now. You made me. I'm trying to think of what was I saying when I was 16.
man. I don't even
What
wanna
profound
think
things
about
was
it.
I saying? I'm trying to think.
I wish back then I used to write quotes and statements all the time.
Yeah.
And I was putting them in that tool. I wish I could have kept them all.
Yeah.
Can you imagine keeping all those?
No, you know what?
Yeah.
That's definitely true because I feel like I used to rap back in the day.
Yeah.
I've
Come
listened.
on, man.
I've listened back to like some of the music I made when I was in high school, and I'm like, some of the stuff I was sounding like, damn,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, like like you were a little forward thinking there. You know what I mean?
Brain was younger.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
sharper, quicker.
more innocent. You know,
Yes, that part.
I'm
The
glad
real
you
world
made that
hasn't hit me
comparison,
yet.
though, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad you made that comparison. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
for
we
sure.
all love hip hop.
yeah.
Pretty much
Big time.
quotes all day. You know, you
Yeah.
hear a bar, you're like, whoa. You
Yep.
know?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. So true.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Yep.
true.
Yep.
Man,
true.
well, thank you for the quote, and thank you for the quote. Right now, Jesse. Before we get things started, obviously the platform is built on being able to give people a chance to talk about their journeys, their stories, right? But I always love to ask guests about the seasons because we know we all go through different seasons. So, how would you describe the current season you're in right now?
I love that question. I'll set the intentions clear with my purpose, which came really clear even this current project. Is I work with humans to create possibilities and not excuses. And the reason that came so clear was many levels. One is, I fell, punches, bruises, cuts, slices, corporate America, outside corporate America, being 25 plus years in that space, going from big four accounting firms to Walmart to Target to now Amazon. But I always say it even goes back further than that. It would go back to when I was in high school, freshman year, and got into a situation with a young man that it led to him cutting me in my arm. We split ways. I went to my school. He went to his school. I ended up becoming the first generation to go to college. It reset my focus to think about accounting. I didn't know anything about accounting, but I said, why not accounting? My dad mentioned to me when I was trying to get into a new school. We got kicked out officially, the other school. And as a result of that pivot and that priest, I went to Catholic school, gave me a second chance. They erased getting kicked out, but the experience you can't erase, right?
Yeah.
And so I fast forward into college at Drexel University and pursue this new platform space that I was not familiar with, being a first generation. Rest is history. Unfortunately, the other guy went down more trouble and then last I understood, lost his life to drugs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I had this survival guilt, right, come on me.
Survivor's
Yeah,
remorse.
the remorse,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I started to feel like I have to give back. And I didn't even realize it at first. And it was this constant thirst to mentor, give back, so I could help the next. His name is Aaron. The next Aaron to choose a different path. I was blessed to have folks look out for me. And it was some instances that happened after that could have led me even further on a path of trouble. But thank God someone said, hey, Jesse, he's a good kid. He doesn't get into trouble. So the learning just to pivot and seeing what's possible, I had to see pretty roughly early in my career. And so when I felt adversity in the corporate space or in personal space, I always say, you know what? I'm going to get over this. This season's short. Let me look through it. What can I learn from it and adjust? And so fast forward, always been a teacher. I love mentoring students. How do I help educate and give what I learn, my stories? Not just my stories, other folks' stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm in the season now. It's like I don't have to prove much. I love who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a lot in my lifetime.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I have the responsibility of the health and the mental health and well-being and how you keep your mind straight. Because there's some times, man, that I've been tested on a restaurant, trying to figure out how to pay the bills, pay the payroll, all that kind of stuff. And it's how you keep your mind straight and focused and say you're going to be all right.
Mm.
Nice.
I love
That's
that.
my
bro.
season right now.
I love that.
Be all right.
No, I love that. I love how you framed it in terms of understanding that it's just a season. And sometimes it's not going to change what's in front of you. Like, you still got to deal with what you've got to deal with. But just understanding that this is temporary allows you to be present in what you're dealing with.
Correct.
Whether it's good, enjoyable, painful, like you just know I gotta serve this season for what it is. Yeah, I like that.
Think about it this way. Keep that same analogy going. Think about the fall season. It's very visual, right? Leaves falling down. You learn things each fall, right?
Yeah.
True fall from falling over, right? And the fall of the season. It's so important to pick up the lessons in that season, or you're doomed to repeat it. The universe is going to force you to learn.
That's real.
And you'll keep repeating that same season over and over again. So when next fall come, I may want to have a rake this time to clean up the leaves that was pulled down. The last time I couldn't get my car out because, you just keep learning from each instances of what you learned from the past so you can apply it forward. Now, take heed. Sometimes we treat the trauma as a learning, and sometimes we're a trap. I'm not discussing that. Acknowledge the trauma. Take the learnings from trauma, but it'll be held back because of the trauma. And that's a different topic.
I love that. That's real.
So, just going back to the early life, I guess what was like your early interests and like influences and stuff growing up?
Yeah, hip hop. I used to be. Yeah, I'm gonna date myself. I'm born 1975. This is my big 5-0 year.
Hey, round of applause, man. Come on, man.
So you know we have some fun. So stay tuned, y'all. That listening. More to come on that.
Yeah.
It's a whole bunch of us excited. 1975 babies. I think my Biggie Small 1970 something. Anyway.
Yo, I was bumping that the other day, by the way. I ain't gonna front. I was bumping that the other day. That's crazy. Yep.
And so for me, it's that this celebration of life and what's to come. My younger version of me was to sit in the room with the cassette tapes. Now, that's a little rectangle shaped thing, y'all, with the little things in the middle and the little tape. And I used to wind up, playing the radio, record a song, try and cut the commercial out, put my little piece of tape around it. And I would just be in the house, always recording music, listening to music, writing down songs, Eric B. and Rakim.
Yeah, and this was in Philadelphia?
Philly all day.
Okay,
let's
go.
Growing up. So I just love music. And I remember one time, Oprah Winfrey was on a show, and she was telling about all the bad music, Ice-T and Ice Cube. If you're home, go to your kid's room and go get the music.
Oh, man.
I mean, I heard my mom coming up the steps. I ran in my closet, grabbed all the Ice Cube, NWA, Ice-T, threw it in the bag.
Hide that.
I hid all of it. She's like, said, Mom, what? I just got LL Cool J. What are you talking about?
That's crazy. LL, man. LL safe. LL safe.
LL was safe. Because they didn't know he was safe.
That's real.
So for me, that was my childhood growing up listening to music. And it really influenced to shape me up as an adult.
Right.
Like you said earlier.
So music, man, that's so crazy. I definitely, bro, I relate to that so much because my first album I ever owned was DMX.
Oh, yeah.
It's Dark and Hell is Hot.
Oh,
and I'm like 7, like this is gold mine right here. But like when I had to hide that I was listening to that, my parents didn't gift it to me. My friend gave it to me. So yeah, I think we all have experienced that, it's like that love for hip hop.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess growing up in Philly, what was it? I mean, I think hip hop is a very common experience for a lot of us upbringing. I always say hip hop raised me. I mean, my parents raised me, but like hip hop definitely had a part in shaping my mind and how I grew.
Correct.
But like outside of hip hop, like what would you say is like what kept you wanting to, I guess, become better and grow and like stay on a path?
Great question.
While you're out there.
I saw a lot being the oldest of two. My little sister loved her to life, and she was always humble, stay home. She used to get in trouble for not going out because she always stayed in the house. And my mom like, go out, have some fun. This is back in the day when you actually used to play in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so I saw a lot being in the neighborhood. Drugs, alcohol, abuse, everything, spousal abuse, everything was present. And so for me, being the eldest, my mom has always put me on this pedestal. She always spoke highly of me and said, Jesse's super smart. You go in places. And so I always felt I had to prove that I was doing something. I never felt I did enough, right? And so for me, I started working when I was 15 before I was 16. I worked in Willow Grove Mall, which is probably about a 20-minute commute from my house. So I had to learn about the bus, take the bus to work. That was new. But that took me out of the neighborhood. Kept me out of trouble. And then a lot of my neighborhood, I'm still the same way, high personality, laughing, silly, whatever. So I was cool with the cool kids. I was cool with the dorks. I was cool with all of them, right? I just love humans. So when I came back, they said, no, Jesse's a good dude. He going places. They looked out for me. To this day, I can go back to my neighborhood and still look out for me. Say, yo, Jess, I've been watching you. Good stuff, what you're doing. They still on the street, right? And so for me, it's like learning that your community supports you. They see what you're about. So I had a responsibility to not just my mom and live up what she said, and my dad, what they said about me. I'm a junior, proud junior. And my neighborhood looked up to me and said, we support what you're doing. So I just start working at the age of 15. And I never not worked since.
Wow.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're very like self-aware. And like sure of yourself, you know what I mean?
Yeah, high ambitious.
At that age when we're coming up as teens, we can be very like impressionable, like, you know what I'm saying? Influenced and that whole thing. So it sounds like you definitely like were very confident who you were and the decisions you were making too.
Yeah, somewhere I learned early in life the power of a smile and a laugh carries a lot of weight. It's hard for someone to get mad at you when you laugh. So and sometimes I had the nervous laugh where, oh man, I'm in some deep stuff now, and the laugh wasn't really a laugh. But, it became my cover early in life. So I think having that as a cover or that mask, if you may, I mentioned in the book too, to show it was a shield. Because folks like happiness. And what did happen, though, was I had this default way of being that folks don't care that Jesse's not feeling the best right now. They don't care if Jesse's hurting right now. So a lot of time I could be going through pain or hurt and no one even know because I'm laughing, I'm smiling, having fun, having a good time. And so that I had to learn that no, folks do want you to be vulnerable. There's strength in that. And by sharing your story, they can connect and relate to you better. Because in your energy field, people can see something. They don't know what it is. Hey, Jesse's off a little bit today. We're not sure why. And it comes across as being inauthentic. And you think you're fine. You're in the room. You bounce around. Everything feels good. You leave the scene. But when you leave, they feel, I had a good time with him. But I don't know, he was off a little bit. And so it took me a long time to realize that, hey, you got to show up full, whole. Be you. Big impact. And so for me, it's saying, hey, you know what? It's a tough day. Hey, you know what? I had broke up with someone. Hey, you know what? Lost my job. Hey, you know what? Whatever. Took a loss today. Oh, no what? Hey, what? That business hurt. Whatever it may be. Sharing that side. Woo! Open up so much space and strength and power and healing.
That's
for
real.
me. And that's the part I learned later in life. So who's listening, being vulnerable early and being open, trust me, you allow folks the opportunity to mirror and see with themselves what they may be dealing with. Create a gateway for them to also open up. And as a result, you both heal because in the share is the lesson and the learning. But if you don't share it, your mind is running stories in his head. But when you share it out, you get a chance to say, wow, is that what I'm really thinking? That's how it really sounds. That sounds crazy. Oh, you know what? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
And or it opens opportunity for input from someone else to say, you know what, Jesse, you know what? I've been there before. Here's what I think.
Man. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of the times it's like sometimes we feel like we don't want to share our whatever we're going through because we're like, we don't want to make our problem somebody else's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yep.
the fact that we could look at it in a way where it's like you might open the door for somebody to share with you too.
Facts.
That's big, you know,
Yeah.
because that's something I'm still kind of learning. Where I
No
was like,
doubt.
oh, nobody needs to hear my
Yeah.
my stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But now, you know, then it's like, oh man, you know what? I was going through that too. And it's like, oh wow, you know.
Yeah.
So
Take it one level deeper.
yeah,
A lot of times, you think about it, a lot of times, is it the fact we think the person doesn't want to hear our story? Or is it the fact we don't want to look bad? We don't want to be judged.
Ego.
yeah, there's that too. Yeah.
That part.
Ego.
Say that
Yeah.
again.
Ego.
Right? And a lot of people think the ego is a bad word. No.
Mhm.
Ego just means what it means. It's your
Yeah.
ego
Yeah.
speaking louder than you. Say,
Yeah.
I got this image to uphold or this perspective. So for me, it used to be, I meant to be happy. I meant to bring you life. I meant to make you feel fun. I'm not here to tell you about my problems.
Yeah.
Because if I do, now I look bad.
Yeah.
You are going now judge me.
Yeah.
But reality is by me sharing my story, you can connect with me more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually has opposite effect.
That's
like,
no, that's real, man. I think like even from hearing what you're talking about, what I'm realizing too is like I think it's no different than any other like muscle that you have to work on.
Fact.
Like I don't think it's something. I think we all are like we know when we should be operating a certain way, but it's hard. It's easier said than done.
No doubt.
So I think like you said when you said start practicing it when you're younger,
Yeah.
it gives you
Yeah.
more time to work on it.
Yeah.
Because I've come across people who are naturally like that,
Yeah.
but I can only imagine how much work they've done
Yeah.
to get to that point. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I think it's something that we have to work for.
No doubt.
You feel me?
Everyone.
Yeah.
Even the ones you
That's-
think are showing up that way, make it be a really good job of having a nice solid mask. You
Yeah.
just never know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So one statement people always said, and I'm finally starting to really embrace it, is they live your truth. That sounds easy.
Mhm.
But when you live your truth, it means all elements of your truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you live your truth, when I share, all the deep secret stuff that about I feel for myself,
Mhm.
I'm now free. Here's why. You cannot hold it against me. I shared it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your truth is your power.
Yeah.
You made it visible, so there's nothing to hide, duck, and try and be shameful of.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that part was like, got it. This is what it means, live your truth. Now I got a lot more work to still do.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
all do. But
You know
I
what
think
I mean? Folks I should clean up with, I got to talk to, get clear with, I haven't done yet.
Yeah.
Don't want to knock them out. Like, I got to get past that energy, right? It's like, we got
I
to
feel like everybody got one person.
we all
now.
got one person that said, "Look, not yet. Like, I
Yeah.
can't do it yet. You may still catch these hands
Yeah.
before I get a chance to have an opportunity to open my mouth.
That's-
the hands will react
Yeah.
fast.
That's crazy.
Sorry, I'm from Philly, y'all.
No.
Sounds
Well,
good.
let's speaking of Philly, let's keep it on Philly. So, you obviously you went to school at Drexel,
Yeah,
Right?
Drexel University,
and
Roman Catholic High School.
yes,
What up?
yeah. Any more shout outs you want?
That's
Middle school. What's your-
Middle school.
Where'd you go to
St.
No, no,
Raymond's.
but no, I'm going through the college experience,
Yeah.
but then coming out of college, which I'm sure you developed a lot of leadership experience and
Yeah.
qualities, but that's college, right? I feel like for
Yes.
all of us, college was like a safety net. Even
Yeah.
if you were in clubs and you ran things. What was it like
Right.
coming out of college and saying, okay, it's time to like really jump into this workforce and get my I guess real life experience?
Yeah, for me, wow. I always say too, I feel I am the same version of my college self, just older. Like all the groups I was involved with in college,
Mhm.
NABA, NABA.
Mm-hmm.
We say NABA for short. That's the rebrand, which is for accountings and fraternity Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated,
Mhm.
to doing other cool stuff, campus activity boards. I'm still involved in all those groups now.
Wow.
Right?
Nice.
And then when I transitioned out of college, I was blessed to go work at Deloitte and Touche.
Mm-hmm.
One of my first mentors, Debbie Hassan, interviewed me when that transition. And it was actually for one of the big 4 accounting firms. And I didn't see myself being even a possible candidate for the top elite accounting firms, right? And in the interview, she said to me, hey, you are the chapter president of NABA. You started your own fraternity chapter, and you dual majored in accounting and MIS. She said, we need you here. I don't know if she realized how much she poured into me in that moment of making me feel seen, heard, valued, respected, right? And literally gave me a job offer. And so what it reassured me early is that you are all your elements. And the company embraced those elements. When I started at Deloitte, I still kept my involvement in those organizations. They paid for my travel. They wanted me to go recruit talent. They encouraged me to be a mentor. So all my early training, growing and building in my corporate career came with the direct connection to my university. That was cool. I didn't expect that.
Wow.
Even when I thought that I had to take a year break, I can't get involved in NABA. And my friend Reese Blair, he's going to kill me. He did not make the book. Sorry, Reese. Love you. My friend Reese Blair, he pulled me back in and said, hey, no, we need you involved in NABA. Get involved in the Philadelphia chapter. And so I was a member. I got involved. And sure enough, became the vice president, then the president. Rest is history. I'm on the national board now. And so for me, I felt my early adult life was an extension of or elevation of what I had rooted.
Yeah.
And came UpNUp, playing words on purpose.
Yeah, I see you.
UpNUp
I see you.
in the corporate space.
Yeah. Man. No, that's amazing. I love the part about how just her affirming to you.
Yes.
All the things you already knew.
Yes.
And all the things you already did.
Yes.
But sometimes you need to hear someone tell you, like, hey, I see what you're doing. I think this is valuable. I think this is valuable. Because a lot of times we be in our own heads. There's only so many flowers you can give yourself. The mirror talk is great, but sometimes you need to hear someone else tell you, yo, you're killing it. You're doing your thing.
And look at the picture to see, I'm, 21 at the time. And she's like, I'm 5'11" my height. She's probably about my height. She's 5'11" as well. Blonde hair, piercing blue eyes, like that ocean blue.
Yeah.
Kind of intimidating, right? Eyes. Beautiful lady. And her saying that, and that's not someone I normally see in my neighborhood. Right?
Yeah.
So that's the one big shift. College, a little bit, no, I'm still not even at college. Not that clean.
Yeah.
She was a partner at the firm. So she was already well seasoned in her career. Fast forward 30 years, whatever, how many years. I invited her to come out to our gala. It was Drexel University's Black Alumni Council gala. And I said, can you come out? She was like, sure. And she was living in South Carolina. She flew up on own expense to be part of this gala. And she was there, and she kept saying, thank you. I'm so honored. Like, she kept saying all night, thank you. I'm so honored for this invitation. And I said, I want to let you know the impact that you made on my life at a pivotal point.
Yeah.
And I'm blessed to be able to tell you, while we both living, how much I appreciate you and honor what you did for me. And for how many other folks you may have done too. And she received that message. It was deeper than just Jesse. It was like, you unlocked significant opportunity for me before I even knew I was ready.
Yeah, and we'll look at what those words she said to you have unlocked for those that you've impacted. You know what I'm saying? Like, it gets deep, but it's all connected. It's all connected.
I also want to ask you, like, what advice do you have for, I guess, college students transitioning to, like, the professional world today, I guess?
I took some notes down on this one because I want to make sure something that I mentioned that kind of stick with me, and I'll welcome those who are sharing share their input to get some more from me. So I call the 5 Ps. Now, there's a lot more Ps out there. So those listening, please, how can they get back to y'all? Like, drop in the chat, whatever.
Hit us up in the DMs, comments, whatever.
Flooded comments with every P word, appropriate word, y'all. Every P word as some personal development for you. I'll share my 5. And I have
Okay.
more since this, but that's why I pull up the 5 here.
Okay.
All right, you ready? So I call the 5 P's of personal development. Since that story of Drexel, it applies. First one is patience. Patience is so key. We are operating in a society where we want instant gratification, and we think we need to see instant results. And for me, it's trust. Whatever you need to be successful is already within you and with you.
Mhm.
The process, the journey is what you have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Even me trying to get this book out the door and all the tours that I want to do, I had to put the brakes and say, Jesse, patience. Yeah, I can go 8 cities and do all that right away and spend a ton of money. Does that make sense? Oh, folks haven't read the book yet, right?
Yeah.
How do you give them time to read it, react to it, let me hear it?
Yeah.
So patience is key. Purpose. You mentioned purpose earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Purpose. Knowing your purpose will attract others to follow through with you through turmoil. People know what you're about, what you're up to doing, what your focus are. Then you help them know how to help you. Yo, Jesse, I got your back. I know what you can do. How about this here? Folks always want to figure out a way to support when they have clarity on your purpose. People. There's 9 billion people in the world. Why do we think we're doing by ourselves?
Yep.
No one's self-made.
Talk about it.
Come on now, right? People are a critical piece to empowering them and yourself to take actions. I always say there's 24 hours in a day. But if you got 10 people rocking with you, that's 240 hours a day. You got 1,000 folks, you got 1 million, you got 10 million.
Yep.
You do the math.
Yeah.
That's how much you get produced in a day.
Yeah.
Which makes anything possible at that point. Yes.
Yeah.
If I got 24 million hours in a day, I can do a lot.
Oh, you can do a lot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a great way to think about it.
For real.
Yeah.
So people, presence. Being present for what comes up for you. We move so fast, often missing what is actually right in front of you. Back to the being patient.
Yeah.
When you slow down, listen, breathe, take in the elements around you. A lot of time, what you were trying to discover was already there.
Yeah.
So much money lost doing that. Spent all this money rushing, trying to make this thing happen at my restaurant, whatever. And the solution was right there.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. And then, of course, persistent. Being comfortable with receiving no as an answer. Listen, y'all, I finally learned to like no. Because no helps you get to the next thing.
Yeah.
If you say no, hey, we can't do this right now. Okay, great. How can I?
Yeah.
I'm already on to the next thing.
Yeah.
But the waiting and dancing for the no is wasting time, right?
Yeah, that's
dancing if you're trying. It's same with sales calls or work, whatever it may be. And then you get this no after like 3 weeks. Man, you could have said no 2 weeks ago. A lot of times we don't want to say no to people because we don't want to look bad. But in reality, you're always going to plan to say no anyway.
Yeah, it was already enough from the jump.
So for me, it's best to ask, accept the no, and say, how can I? Got it. Understood that no, that's not the path. Got it. Okay, how can I? Okay, got it. How can I? Okay, got it. But no is not a bad word. It's actually the truth. It helps you set free for the next yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my advice. I walk a way more peace.
I like that.
I love to share back more, and we'll just keep it growing.
I like that.
Definitely.
I love that. I think those are great. I kind of wanted to switch gears a little bit into your, I guess, chapter here in Seattle, in Amazon, right? And if I'm not mistaken, you had many roles, but one that was very much like, I think the one that gave you a lot more responsibility was the DEI, IDE. I don't know how to. I mean, there's a lot of ways you could describe it. It's all the same thing, right? Yeah. But now, did that transition happen? If I'm not mistaken, was it during 2020?
Yes.
Or during the George Floyd incident?
So quick drop on that. Okay. I'll go to your question too. Yeah, it was 2020. It was actually my first day in work.
Okay.
Was Memorial Day weekend when George Floyd was murdered.
Wow.
Wow.
So I'm on board into a new career path, DEI. I'm a finance professional.
Okay.
And my first day was that Tuesday. We're off that Monday.
Mhm.
We all got word what happened that weekend, which is even crazier. Now you people remember key things. So like 9/11, I know where I was at. I can still see the room.
Yeah.
Somewhere here, I took a trip, a drive, just driving around Washington State, looking at the mountains, the Olympics, a cool ride,
Mhm.
just to get away. I was moving one job to a new job,
Mhm.
and that's just self-care trip. So glad I did that. When I came back, I heard that.
Yeah.
I'm in a brand new role. COVID was happening,
Mhm.
so we all were home. All new team, no one knows me yet. Here I am in the black face, coming on screen, hearing what I just had to hear. And HR, go ahead. What you got for me?
Man, what did you got for me? Because I want what I want to know is like what was that like to, because
Man.
currently DEI is like very much now becoming a thing that everybody's talking about.
Yeah.
And I think you can speak on to just why that that role, or just the way you want to describe it, is so important.
Yes.
Like, so can you just talk about that experience of like
For
what it meant to
sure.
like now move forward past that tragic incident and having to still carry the responsibilities of
yeah.
what you already had to do, but then now understanding kind of like, oh, this is bigger than me.
Big time.
Yeah.
Because I realized in that moment that I couldn't hide. The mask was off. Back in the day, things would happen in the community. You still come to work. It was kind of your outlet. In this case, you were still in your home behind a screen. There was no going to another environment to shift gears.
Yeah.
And all your colleagues also just witnessed the same thing. So they know just as much as you know. Black, white, Spanish, Asian, male, female, tall, short, you name it, right? Everyone had an impact. And so for me was, if I'm going to be asked to do something that I wanted it to be actionable and with tangible outcomes, I didn't want to just have, we call it courageous conversations back then. And it was like, let's have those conversations, but we as leaders are going to sit in the listen mode, or facilitate the conversation, take heed to what's being heard and what's coming up, and have the responsibility to report back what we're going to do about it.
Got it.
That was a significant shift in corporate America, because this is my IT audit risk management hat coming on, so bear with me real quick. In the IT space, doing risk management, one rule 101 was, besides security and cybersecurity threats, that's a newer thing, was disaster recovery, business resumption plan. How do we operate if things shut down? Companies are activating their disaster recovery plan for George Floyd. First step is communication. Reach out to your employees. Make sure they're okay. We all were home.
Yeah.
And I'm witnessing this. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a significant shift in this profession, because corporate America, they might be worried themselves at this point, was activating their disaster business resumption plan.
Wow.
At that moment, to make sure employees were okay, to keep the lights on and operation going for their company. Woo!
Yeah.
Game change. And so typically in DEI, it's formula about, it's, you have a brilliant idea, right? And practical steps to take, but it's hit against resistance. If your brilliant idea and the critical steps you could take is bigger and larger than the resistance, you affect change.
Got it.
And it's the first time I was embracing where it was less resistance, because everyone watched what happened. So money was flooding, floodgates. You want to check? Here you go.
Yeah.
You want to put this program in place? Here you go.
Yeah.
What we're experiencing now, it's the old days of HR and DEI, where you hit with more resistance.
There you go.
And so I tell folks, hey, this is very familiar. Some little chaoticness is not, well, hey, that's familiar too, right? It's, what do we do to continue to affect change and face resistance, you bring data, you show value, you go back to the building blocks that is there. We spent a lot of time and energy trying to define what diversity, equity, and inclusion meant. We thought we had to educate them what the words mean. Now we all know. People clearly know what D and E and I mean.
Yeah.
Got it. And you're getting no's. Okay. Like I said earlier, give me the no.
Yeah.
I can see you. Thank you for your no. Well, how can we?
Yeah.
Because if you listen, we're in the game to make money.
Yeah.
I can show you how you can make money by having equitable practices and embracing inclusion and inclusion of diversity and thought.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna make money together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guarantee.
Yeah.
But if I'm just sitting here saying pour all this cash to educational programs and not seeing a return, yeah, I get you. I would say no to that too.
Yeah.
That's where we're at right now.
I get what you're saying. I just love that. First of all, thank you for breaking it down that way.
Thank you.
No problem, man.
Because I think, for those of us who do not work in corporate America or do not have the experience of dealing with, you know what I mean? Dealing with what that even means.
Yeah.
It's not at their doorstep, so they don't care.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, why is this even an issue? It doesn't matter to me. I don't work for any of these companies. But what I'm seeing is like, if they normalize it there, it's only just opening a door for it to be normalized in other areas where DEI is not called DEI, but it's still necessary and needed. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So
no doubt. It's in all our programs, in our grants,
in
our funding, in our school system, our education. And so folks are finally understanding all the elements. First of all, I'm glad I love TikTok and Twitter, all these tools that gets information out faster. People are finally realizing, oh, people thought DEI was for Black folks. Man, we were like 7th place on that list for the beneficiaries of DEI.
Yeah.
So just understanding what DEI actually really means and who's benefited from it.
Yeah.
It's coming clear for folks.
Yeah.
And so, yes, y'all, we are number 7 on the list. There's other groups way ahead of us in profiting and benefiting from DEI. And those groups are realizing, oh, I did not know that I just shot my own self in the foot on resources that I had access to. And I think the reveal is critical in the healing process. You reveal first. My great friend Veronica Berry would say, you reveal, then you feel it, which we're starting to feel it, close, some not yet. And then you hope to get to the other side of heal.
Got it.
But we're definitely in the reveal phase.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
More to come on the feeling.
Yeah. I think we're in real time dealing with it. You know what I mean?
I definitely want to talk about, I guess, kind of like gatekeeping, because I was on your website and I saw a video, and I seen you post Alchemist too about gatekeeping.
Oh yeah.
But so you were talking about having a screwdriver and like taking the hinge or taking the hinges off the door,
take the door
or
off
take the door off the hinges.
Take
Exactly.
Off the door.
And man,
the door.
I think it was just so powerful.
Thank you.
And I feel like a lot of people need to hear that. And so I just want you to kind of like touch on that too, because that was great.
Man, I love you, bro. Thank you for that. Take off the door.
Yeah.
Because what you see is that you can open the door up and it can close back.
Yeah.
Not only can it close back, it can close back tighter. They may they may lock it, right? And so for me, being a first generation, often the only in the room, right? That I have felt this responsibility of how do I deliver? How do I maximize this opportunity? Not why am I the only one in the room? Is what am I going to do with this opportunity while I'm in the room?
Yeah.
And as I'm creating a path and paving forward, that I take off the door so that way others can follow behind and accelerate even faster than me. I want you to pass me, please, and educate me so I can come too. Take off the door symbolizes the opportunity that once you open this thing up, it remains open.
Yeah.
that is foundational change.
Yo, I love
not,
that.
Surface change.
I love that.
Yeah.
Damn, that's
yeah,
real.
I love that so much because we always hear about doors opening and closing and da-da, and I was like,
Correct.
damn, I never thought about just
Take the thing
leaving
off.
that. Yeah, like that's crazy. So
Why is there a
that's
door?
why, yeah,
We don't need a door.
Don't need
Yeah,
to take it
don't need a
off.
door. Yeah,
Take it off the
so
door.
You know what's
Yeah.
interesting about that too? I love that you brought that up because I'm starting to, now that we're talking about it, I'm just thinking about it. Like, not everybody wants to walk through doors, right? So what's the point of even having the door there? Like, if it's open, let it be open for those who want to go through it,
Yeah.
right? Not everybody
Fact.
wants to walk through that door.
Good point.
Mhm.
That's how I'm thinking about it too. Sometimes people are gatekeeping to people who aren't interested.
Correct.
yeah,
There's multiple things that people want to go do, so just leave it open for those who
Yeah.
want to come and do it.
Mhm.
Facts.
That's real.
I love that. And one quick more analogy tied to that one. Picture like hotels. Like, the Hyatt near Bellevue. They get a free shout out. But right, I go for Amazon office. I cut to the Hyatt going
Yeah.
towards Joey's.
Mhm.
Yeah,
right.
Oh yeah,
And late at night, they tend to lock the doors up, but it's always one door is unlocked purposely, right? How often people will pull on one door and then they give up and leave? Some
Mhm.
folks will see the closed door, not even try. And for me, back to being persistent, try that door, try the next door, try the next door.
Yeah, you try and get through.
Try, it's open.
Yeah,
Go in.
yeah.
And so you got the folks that won't even try to go in the door, then not their interest, or they see the closed door and assume it's locked,
Yeah,
or they do the first pull and give up.
yeah.
And so removing the door makes it clear that this is possible.
Mhm.
Yep.
Now, the choice is yours, but it is possible.
Yeah.
My goal is to make sure it is possible.
There you go.
Period.
Exactly.
go.
Stop trying to disqualify people before they even get a
Yeah.
chance to go.
Fact.
That's
It's
real.
possible.
Just to add to that too,
Yeah.
my cousin, shout out Thomas, my cousin, but he was like, if the door's locked, I'm gonna find the window.
No
he
doubt.
always tell me that.
Yeah.
So like just to add to that
Yeah.
analogy,
Yeah.
so
It's so
yeah,
true.
yeah.
If you want to get in, you're going to get in.
Yeah, you gonna
No
get
doubt.
in
Like,
Like,
somehow.
if you really
Yeah,
want
you
to
gonna
make it
happen.
happen. And that's the
Yeah.
thing I love is like, man, there's people who really want to be in those rooms or who
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to get in
Correct.
and they're not being given access.
Correct.
And then there's people who don't care about being in those rooms.
Correct.
And sometimes they get access.
Correct.
They're just in the room just to be in the room.
Correct.
So yeah, that's real. Now we do have to discuss Leadership Unlocked.
Let's do
Yes,
it.
sir.
Harness the Power of Your Ambition. This is a book you've
Yes.
wrote, and it released in February,
Yep.
right? This
February
month.
4th on
February
all
4th.
platforms. I did a
Um,
little Christmas release on the digital.
yeah.
And the Audible book is coming.
We need that. We need that now. I want to give a kind of brief explanation
Yeah.
as to what I saw the book is about. But for those listening, the book is an exploration of personal development as a foundation for harnessing ambition and developing meaningful, sustainable leadership practices. Now, that's what I read. But from your words, like, how would you describe what this book's about and why people should be excited to go read it?
Think about it this way. 3 segments. The first one is really doing your internal work, value-based leadership, right?
Mhm.
Addressing fear, setting boundaries. That's a tough one, right? Practice gratitude, being persistent. All those works, that inner work that never ever ends. You're always doing it. Why it's important is part 2, the application, right? When you are engaging and connecting with people like us in this room, one thing is providing, gaining clarity. Hey, I have a bottle of water in front of me. I should even say that. We'll go with it anyway. I'm going to move that bottle of water. Each person listening and in this room has their own perception of where, when, why, and how I'm going to move this bottle of water. Unless you seek clarity or gain clarity, depends on which side who's the communication side it is, you have to align. Now that part alone cuts through so many layers. Cultural norms, geographical, all those elements. Hey, from the East Coast, we move it to the left with our hand this way. You know,
Yeah.
all that's embedded into our own individual truth.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
Yeah.
However, because we all are beautifully different, we break trust at the start. And so in the book, I talk about that. It's how do you build trust by seeking and gaining clarity, get the alignment, and follow through. Then go back to the first part. If I don't set boundaries and say yes to everything, I can't deliver on everything I say I'm going to do. So I break trust.
Yeah.
So the work you do, your inner work, addressing fear. Hey, I don't want to move that order because last time I moved it, it fell over and the water went everywhere and I was so embarrassed. I'm not going to do it again.
Yeah.
So now I'm fear of moving the water because the last time results. You got to do your inner work. When you do your inner work, which is ongoing, you follow through in your commitment and your word, you inspire others, including yourself. And so the origination of the book was the key principles of inspiring leadership. What inspires you to be an inspirational leader? That's the piece. The continuance of my work, transforming who I am as a human and developing and growing, applying it and building my relationships, and then being inspired by the outcome of that work. And oh, by the way, if you don't love yourself enough, you won't set boundaries. You won't practice gratitude. You won't address fear.
Yeah.
You won't be able to even build trust and love others if you don't do that part too. That's your book right there.
Wow. It seems very human-centered.
Yes.
Human focused.
Yes.
Because when I see the title Leadership Unlocked, it seems as though, okay, teach me how to be a leader.
Yeah.
And whether it's in my professional space, whatever the case is. And then things you're talking about are like, this is just being a human.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct. And we forget how human is in being leadership because folks still tell you, I love that manager or I love that leader. They inspire me. I will go work anywhere with that person. Key word, I will go work anywhere with that person.
Yeah.
The leadership skills, you can sharpen a pencil, but if you don't do all that work within, then you will show up inauthentic in your leadership style, and as a result, impact the outcomes of your product and your influence in that room. Now, everyone may not be a natural born leader. We're not saying that.
Yeah.
To your point. But everyone has the opportunity to explore. Like, everyone's not Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You got natural born gifts.
Yep.
But it doesn't mean you can't pick a basketball up and try and learn and shoot it, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm diving into.
Got you.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, because everybody can be technically gifted, but what good is that if you can't really connect with someone, you know? So
Right. If Michael Jordan was hard to play with, right?
What do you?
You're not even gonna get the opportunity.
I'm curious. What do you think is the biggest challenge for people in terms of leadership, or even? And this doesn't have to necessarily only be in the workplace, but just in general, like leading, whether it's in your household or just leading in general. Like, what do you think is some of the things that hold people back?
One of the key things that hold folks back is themselves. Period. Limited beliefs. And that's at any level. I don't care who you are. It's not seeing, or I have to be what they want me to be, or I have to not be what they want me to be. All this negative talk keeps you blocked. And you look at any profession, I'll give you a rapper, singer, sports player, CEO, CFO, COO, they will all tell you is that internal imposter syndrome blocking your very own possibility.
That's real. That's real.
I definitely think that's real because, like, I feel like people don't realize it, but it's contagious in a way because then you might look at the next person and be like, they must have had to do something to become successful, you know? And it's like, nah, they just didn't hold back and then they just stepped into their greatness pretty much. You know what I mean? So it's like,
especially men.
They always do that. They do that with black folks all the time.
Exactly.
Ooh, of course.
The Illuminati. They call them the Illuminati.
Yeah.
They're in the Illuminati.
Yeah. I heard shout out to Philly, but Wallow was talking about that.
Yeah.
So
it's a thing, man. It's a self-depreciating thing, though.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like I see myself in him. I see myself in you.
No doubt.
So if I'm talking down on this person, like,
Yeah,
what does that say about me? You know,
Bingo.
Yeah.
that's real, man.
Bingo.
Now this is your first book.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
More to come.
So for those out there who are interested in writing their own book, regardless of what the book's about, like what was the process like, and what were some of the challenges in writing this book?
So I'll share where I was at Block. So I, for a long time, said, I'm not a writer. I can't write. Now, I don't know who in my childhood told me this lie. It's still present. I still think, even with the book produced, I can't write. I'm not a writer. And so getting past that limited belief, right, it came off of different steps. So great friend, Captain Mowbray, he's in the book. He's one of the co-authors too. So in the book also, it's not just me sharing my stories. There's 5 other amazing co-authors in the book.
Got it.
Sharing their case studies about their different elements. Address fear, success, inspire, love, you name it. So Captain Mowbray was one of the ones from New York. And he encouraged me, Jesse, you got to write a book. Whatever, man. Sure. No, you need to do it. Trust me, you inspire so many people. You do so much public speaking. You got to write a book. He wrote a book. He's an author, 10 Ks of personal branding. He's working corporate America. He left corporate America, blew up, doing big things now. Look him up. And then he came to me again years later here in Seattle, and we were at Columbia Tower Club. He said, Jesse, put me to the side. You need to write a book. I'm like, this guy is still, this is like 10 years old. It's not 10 weeks. This is 10 years of him saying
persistence.
Persistence, right? Persistence, right?
Yeah.
And then I went away for a retreat, and I still come write a book. Still didn't do it. Veronica Vera, I mentioned earlier, she inspired me to at least start the beginning piece. So your community around y'all, by the way, is a huge piece. You speak into the possibility of what you want to do. I said I was going to write a book. I ain't really believe it yet, but the community around me started to help become accountability partners and ensure I did so. Yeah. Another great guy, Philip Sharp, Skills, here in Seattle, cool cat. He was like, I have a publisher for you.
It's getting real.
It got real.
It's getting real, yeah.
It's getting real. I was like, what? Yeah, I'm going to get, here's their number, and I'm going to tell them to expect your call. I'm like, okay, now I got to follow through.
No excuses.
No excuses, right? So that I meet with Chris Vega for Blue Cactus Press, which is my publisher. I say, hey, Christina, I've been told to write this book. It's in me. I feel it. I have this thirst, this calling to do it. There's a lot of us have that calling, but I don't write. And they said, listen, Jesse, how long you been public speaking? How long you been mentoring? I said, 20 years. You have been writing your book for 20 years. And boom, right in that moment, I said, oh, shoot, you're right.
Yeah.
And then Christina, about Chris as well, was like, I'm here on this journey with you. We can record it, and we can do it live like we're doing right now. You can take 2 hours in a piece of paper. But they are so amazing being by my side for not months, years.
Wow.
That started around, I feel we were 2021. Then I purchased the restaurant, Poco, that slowed things down a lot. They stayed by my side, hold me accountable. Produced the first manuscript. I didn't like it so much. It was too Jesse, and that wasn't the purpose of the book. And that's why I reached out to my friends. I got Stephanie Ball, Chris Vega, Amber Cabral, Philip Sharp, Captain Mowbray. They all agreed to contribute to the book. And that's what you see now. So I would say to any person thinking that they're not enough, your story must be heard. Trust me, the world needs the healing that only you can provide. And by not sharing your story, you're robbing yourself and someone else the opportunity to heal. And so for me, understand the responsibility to do the project is why I did it. And my next project is for middle school students. Because if I can work with the kids and have them dive into trauma and how to manage trauma on the on-site, there's less to unpack as an adult.
Wow.
Working that muscle.
Wow. This guy, man. That's amazing, bro. I'm like listening to that. I'm like, damn, I want to write a book.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, for
Come
real.
on, bro. Especially you.
Yeah,
Oh my
come on,
can
let
you
me do it.
imagine? Can you imagine? Yes.
I think it'd be
yeah.
a dope audiobook.
No doubt. No doubt.
No, but I think
You
what
spoke into existence, y'all. Y'all
Yeah,
got that
y'all-
recorded, right?
yeah,
Y'all all heard. We
yeah.
got witnesses in the room. It's
Yep.
been recorded. I think you made.
I
once
told
you
them I was
manifested-
going to do an album too. I was going to rap an album, do a rap album.
Yeah.
Man, you just
Not too late.
manifested.
We still gonna.
Yeah.
So you gonna do it, right?
Yeah.
I heard what you
Yeah.
heard. I
Yeah.
heard it.
I think
Yeah,
I think
it's
the
gonna
music
happen.
will come before the book for sure.
Hey, give me both.
We're talking about
Your story.
timing before, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
You can
Nah, man.
story tell in the music.
Yeah, this is inspiring though, man, because I'm like a lot of what you're doing is giving back, but you're also giving to yourself in the process.
Yes.
It's like two things. Like it's a win-win,
yes.
right? I love that.
Yes.
Um,
Thank you for seeing that.
yeah, bro. Now, as we kind of nearing the end here, I did want to kind of give you a chance to speak to like, first of all, as much as you do, like, what is your form of self-care? Like, how do you balance? We've been talking a lot about like what
Yeah.
you're doing in terms of the work, but like, how do you balance that?
Yeah.
What works for you?
Hey, two things. One is a fun one. I love travel for like mainly one. I grew up traveling a lot for work, and my first trip was to Colorado, enjoying Denver, and seeing the mountains when I was younger, and then travel overseas. I love humans, so getting a chance to see it's fascinating to explore different things. So travel is healing and relaxing because I take on the earth, the universe. I get the space, the trees, the mountains, the lake, the water. You know, I look at humans and how you do different things and how you treat their food, right? Like, that's different. Oh, no, I'm different. They're not, right?
Yeah,
And it's awakening piece. So that's the first part.
love that.
Other piece is, listen, man, give me a good day at the massage spa,
Yep.
jacuzzi, sailor slides, or Four Seasons. You know, it just, and a lot of times they'll just come at need, like urgent.
Yeah,
I'm not taking a day off. I'm going to take a day and take care of myself.
yeah.
I'm blessed to be able to do things like that. Acupuncture was needed heavily during my days of Poco. It was cute, cool acupuncture place next door to Poco. If anyone's in Cap Hill, I highly encourage you to go to her. They are phenomenal. My blood pressure was 170 over 100. It was bad.
Man.
And I should go to them, and they will put the little needles in me, brought it right down. And so self-care is the best care.
Important.
And just know that, listen, at the end of the day, it's only 24 hours. You can't get it all done in one day.
Yeah.
And just strike that balance. Prioritize what you can get done today. Communicate what you can't. And be back tomorrow. And that part, I realized, is love yourself more. Back to earlier. Love yourself more. Because at the end of the day, that company or friends and family will still be living on when you're in that casket. So what are you trying to prove, yo? So take care of yourself. I use a plane analogy, although it's kind of scary to use a plane analogy these days. Also, we watch on TV. The oxygen mask comes down. There's a reason why they say put the mask on first.
Yeah.
If you don't put the mask on first, how the heck are you going to take care of your kids if you pass out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to put the mask on first in order to have enough to pour into others. And so I'm still learning to make sure I pour into myself more so that I can do and pour into others I so desire. But I have to pour into myself. That, my friends, is still a continuous journey for me.
I love that.
Wow.
I love that.
That's nice.
Man.
Yeah.
Noted.
Yeah. Also, how can people pretty much get in contact with you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Best way, y'all be surprised because I feel happy I got it operating effectively. LinkedIn is a cool tool.
Yeah.
Because it lets me see if I didn't get back to you today. Sorry, maybe a week or two, y'all, but I do get back. Trust me. Also, my website is my name.
Mm-hmm.
It's jesserhodesjr.com. I have a whole team that's helping me because I can't do it alone. And those inquiries come in. And then, of course, if you see me, I love receiving. So I'm an in-person person.
Yep.
Y'all know me.
Yeah.
So walk up, we talk, we connect. I'm a giver of energy. I'm a giver of time.
Yes.
That's how I love on people. And so I'm always open to doing that.
Yes, sir.
And, of course, you can find me at Columbia Tire Club.
Yeah.
I'm the board chair. So
congrats. Round of applause to that.
Thank you.
That's amazing. That's
you
amazing.
Want to catch me just in my element? Most likely, I'm at the Columbia Tire Club.
Dope. Social media handles.
I kept it simple. Y'all be surprised. It's literally Jesse, Jesse, RHOD as in Derek, ESJR. My name, Jesse
Nice.
Rhodes Jr. on all platforms. The
Yes,
only
sir.
weird one is X. Got to put an underscore. But besides that one, and that should be the weird
X
one.
is a weird place, man.
Exactly. So to get that one anyway. But Jesse Rhodes Jr. on lock across all platforms.
Amazing. Make sure y'all go tap in. Man, Jesse, this has been amazing, bro.
Man, I love
This has
it.
been amazing.
Right.
This is actually kind of exactly how I envisioned this going,
Good.
right? Just amazing conversation.
Good.
Very
I love it.
insightful.
I love it.
Uplifting. Like, I feel like the spirit's been lifted.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
Now, we ask every guest this question
Mm.
before we wrap up. So if you can, my brother, what's one word to describe what keeps you on the up and up and why?
One word,
That's all you got.
you already know what it's going to be. Possibility.
Hey,
Mm.
why is that the word?
Because when you see possibilities, it allows you to create the vision. It drives you forward.
Mm-hmm.
It allows you to create possibilities, not excuses.
Mm.
It literally anchors you on action.
Mm. Yeah. It's the future.
Stay in action mode, y'all. Like, we can see painful stuff. I'm watching news, too. It's annoying.
Yeah.
Operate in your lane. Mentioned earlier about the doors, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the bandwidth to go through every door. And nor should I. You wear yourself thin. Go through your appropriate door and take the necessary action. We have the assignment. Do your assignment. And that collectively as a community, we thrive.
Mm.
So for me, us individually operating and going through our respective doors and taking action, we unlock everything.
Mm. Mic drop. That's real. That's real. Wow. Well, Jesse, man, you look at you speechless.
Yeah, I love it. I want a third
Speechless.
chair next time, y'all. Come on, bring me
There
back.
we go.
Bring me back. Bring me back.
We'll create some
There we go.
possibilities, bro.
Run it back, Turbo.
I got the possibility.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's definitely possible.
Yeah.
But Jesse, man, thank you for
Love
being
you,
here
man.
first and
Appreciate
foremost.
you, man.
Thank you for
Thank
spending
y'all
time with
all
us.
day.
And for those listening and watching, please connect, learn,
Yeah.
support. But with that being said, I think it's safe to say Jesse Rhodes Jr. is officially a member of the Up and Up. Can we get a round of
Yeah.
applause? Yeah.
Woo, woo, y'all heard that? It's on the record. Love you, man. All day, baby.
To continue supporting the podcast and the entire Up and Up movement, be sure to rate, review, like, and subscribe.
As well as follow us at _ the Up and Up on all social media platforms to stay connected with everything the Up and Up has coming your way.
Thanks for listening, and until the next one.
Keep it on the Up and Up.